Grace, let's start by recognizing that everyone's quarantine bubble needs, their circumstances, they're all totally different. Nobody knows how to deal with this whole thing. People are in different circumstances all over the world. There's no specific rule that we could give as non-medical professionals to our audience about how to know what's safe or how to manage risks. What kind of ideas come to mind? I mean, what do you recommend to help people just navigate all of this?
Yeah. I think that the most important thing is just to know your own boundaries and what feels comfortable to you, and not to try to push yourself outside of that, for the sake of meeting someone else, just because that's going to create some anxiety already. And dating is a nerve-wracking thing anywho.
Yeah, well, when people are just starting to date right now, how do they have those conversations about those boundaries? How do you know what feels good to you and what feels safe? And then how do you share that with your partner who is a total stranger? I mean, I imagine there's a lot of posturing going on.
Sure. Yeah, I think it can be an awkward conversation to have. You don't know how much exposure someone else is getting, or if they're out going to parties, or they don't know if you're going out to parties. So just being really upfront from the get-go of, this is what my quarantine procedure has looked like, or these are the things that I put in place. And as far as determining those, that's really about what feels safe to you, because like you're saying, there's a lot of mixed messages about what's safe and what's not safe. So checking in with yourself and going, okay, does this feel safe for me and where I'm at and for the people that I'm in contact with? Just asking yourself those tough questions and being really clear about communicating those with the people that you're talking to.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I guess that's all assuming you even get to that first date or to that place where this is a relationship where you are, I guess, excited enough about to take a calculated risk. Right. Before that point, I mean, how are people meeting right now? How are people dating? Online dating isn't exactly new, but it's got to be different in this weird world.
Yeah, when it's necessary, that's new.
Yeah, it stops being like an extra little bonus opportunity, and when it becomes like your only avenue, traffic gets a little clogged up.
Right. Most people don't have the option of going to a bar and just meeting someone, or even talking to coworkers at work, or whatever it might be. So I'm trying to think back what your original question was there.
Well, just what kind of dates are people even going on, or how are they even meeting before they go on these dates?
I want to know this, because I don't know how to freaking go out on a date right now.
Yeah, for real.
I know. Yeah, I think the FaceTime dates are becoming bigger and bigger. At the beginning of quarantine, it was kind of weird. I had certainly never been on a FaceTime date with someone before I met them, or even talked to anyone on the phone before I met them.
Yeah.
That seemed kind of like, whoa, you're asking a lot of me to talk on the phone before we've even met. But, then all of a sudden it was COVID and people couldn't meet in person anymore. And this idea of the FaceTime date is becoming more and more normal. And I think it's something that's going to stick around even after, hopefully, life goes back to normal.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the whole concept of normal feels more unrealistic than any of the other things that we're discussing here. So yeah, I guess it makes sense to imagine that a FaceTime date will continue. Do you have any tips for just how to get past that initial awkwardness? I mean, this is like a totally new way of dating, and dating is kind of scary enough.
It is scary enough. It's always scary. I would be hard pressed to look back at a point in time where people would go, oh, dating, that's easy. No trouble at all.
Sure.
It's always tricky. It's always vulnerable. And the FaceTime date thing, it's gonna feel kind of awkward, but just like with everything, we have to be open-minded and adapt. And I think it's one of those things, just keep in mind that we are adaptable creatures. And, you know, it's gonna feel weird at first, and that's okay. It's probably feeling weird for the other person too. And so you immediately have that little bit of bonding of, ooh, this is kind of weird. Haven't done this before. I'm not sure what I think about it.
Something in common right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice, you know, you can be at the comfort of your couch and have your animals there. You know, you get to meet other people's animals on a first meeting. Usually that doesn't happen unless things go really well.
Well, and I think I really like the idea of it being a somewhat lower barrier to entry. You know, like obviously people can still get in their heads. There's still plenty of opportunity for anxiety. And if you're watching this right now and you're thinking that the idea of going on more than one like FaceTime date in a day would just destroy you because of your energy levels and everything else, that's cool. I totally get that. But I do like that you don't necessarily have to get all dressed up. You don't necessarily have to drive across town just for this first date.